Hi, hey everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much. So, today I just really wanted to talk about. I kind of saw this, I just noticed or observed this trend of, um, you know, would I say I don't want to be offensive, but there's this trend of, like getting your body done. I just wanted to jump in real quick to just see, hey, if you're joining me, if you can see me, say hi in the comment section. I can definitely see you. I just wanted to discuss about, real bodies. Do real bodies still matters? Especially, being a mom myself, sometimes you just see all the how much people really like do for their bodies, how much, people get surgery, even people that I feel that their bodies are, actually really perfect. And then I noticed that and I observed that lots of people are getting their body done and their work done. So I was like, I just want to jump in here and just discuss with you guys. Do you guys think that real bodies really matter, or what is hindering most of us is just the lack of money, so to say? I want to know what you guys think about this. So if you are there, definitely give me a thumbs up. Let me know what your thoughts are in regards to this, and let's catch up. What have you been up to really? This is just real quick. I just wanted to encourage somebody out there. And if you're someone like me that is constantly on a journey, just improving their body, just working on themselves, and you're like, sometimes I really 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 feel like, should I just save up money and go get my body done, as opposed to quote unquote what we call doing it the right way? I don't think getting surgery or surgical enhancement is a bad thing, you know on its own. But I feel like what I hear people say is that once you start it, you definitely become addicted to it. So that's just the part that I'm just wary of. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to get addicted. For instance, because when you do those things, it's kind of like a need for perfectionism, right? So when you start doing those things, like you want it to look perfect. So when you see then another flaw, you're like, okay, maybe I need to fix another flaw to make sure that this one is perfect. So anyway, that was just what was in my mind today to just talk about. I was like, I've been meaning to talk about this topic for so long. I was like, do real bodies still matter? Do these things still matter? Are we still looking at real bodies and saying, oh, you know what? Because like people will say, once you just look left and right, you can definitely tell. Even my kids right now can tell when a woman has gotten their body done, because it just doesn't look, natural. Just doesn't look like what came naturally. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in regards to this conversation. Do you think that real bodies still matter? Do you think that people should still stick to their real bodies, or if by any means they have the opportunity to get the job done, either by surgical enhancement, they should? And what are some of the things that you are doing to make sure that you look and feel good? For instance, my channel is around weight loss and the like. So I'm like, I think for me, being that my channel is about weight loss, I just feel like I still want to see how much I can push myself to see if I can actually get my dream body the natural way. But I also understand how not everybody has the same level of discipline or that type of thing. So what are your thoughts are in terms of you know getting yourself to, like, especially because the new year is coming? I know a lot of people are going to be making new year resolution. I'm going to get my body to be snatched in 2024. But what are some of the steps that you're already taking now? Personally, I think if you're already planning to lose weight in 2024, I think that you should already have your plan in place right now. Excuse me. Like, for instance, before I went on my weight loss journey last year, where I was able to lose close to 50 pounds, I had already made up my mind that come the new year, which was then 2023, things were going to change. I looked at myself, I didn't like what I saw, right? Nobody was complaining, no issues. I was still as my confident, regular self, but I just knew that no, I wanted to see myself look different. I wanted to get my body to looking different. So I ultimately feel like if you are going to get something done in 2024, then of course you should already start plans about that. Okay. So that's just what I wanted to come here and say. And I also wanted to, just ask you guys what you guys think about getting your body done. Do you think it's okay if, as a mom, you've had all your kids and you just want to get your body done? Do you think it's bad, from a Christian perspective? What are your thoughts in regards to that? So just let me know what your thoughts are. I personally don't think there's anything wrong if you have the means to get it done, and if you've done all your research, you're 100% sure that this is something that you should be doing, then why not, right? Like, why not if not? That's just my own, like, if you want to, then yes, sure. But if you feel like, mm, I don't think so. My spirit is not like 100% convinced that this is something for me. I want to try doing it the right way. I know people that have lost a couple of weight, and after losing a couple of weight, they're like, okay, I know that I can lose this weight myself, because the biggest struggle with getting your body done is after you get it done, there's also the chance where you can gain the weight back, right? So you want to be sure that you already, have that lifestyle of, the healthy lifestyle of eating right and doing all the right things that you should be doing. So, as usual, I want to always know what your thoughts are. And if you're there, let's catch up. Let's, just hang out. I want to get connected with you guys. And if you're subscribed to me and you're a new subscriber, because I know I have new subscribers, let me know what you're subscribed to this channel for. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to seeing more on this channel? Just let me know what your thoughts are and what's been happening with you, what's going on, yada yada. Yeah, that type of thing. Let's catch up. Oh yeah, thank you for that question. So yeah, so with the smoothie diet, the thing is, a smoothie diet is not something that I would say, okay, you'll be able to do for such a long time. It's not but I feel like it's, if you've tried everything else. I think for me, in America, I had been trying to eat, like, fruits, veggies, salads, but the results that I wasn't getting results that I wanted to get. And so that was when I got into researching about food and, all kinds of diet and stuff like that. And so then I realized that some of the fruits as well are not organic. So that may have been the challenge when I thought I was eating fruits and salad. Some of them still, you may have had chemicals, so it could have hindered the results that I wasn't seeing, or what the results I expected to have been seeing. But anyways, I say all of this to say that I saw someone do a juicing diet and he lost 100 pounds. And I think he did 100 days. So 100 pounds in 100 days. So I was fascinated by that. I was like, wow, 100 pounds in 100 days. I might not be able to do a juicing diet. I looked around, looked at the prices of a juicer, knowing myself and that I was on a budget. I didn't have the amount to get to spare for a juicer at the time. So I looked around and I was like, okay, you know what? Why don't I do smoothies? I feel like smoothies are more sustainable. I love smoothies. I'm a smoothie person naturally. So I'm one of those people that I feel like in a week I could definitely live on smoothies for 3 days. Like, it's not gonna bother me. So I started the beginning of the year with like a spiritual fast of like water fast. I think I did that for like 3 days and I couldn't do it anymore. But I loved the way I was feeling spiritually, and because it was for spiritual reasons, um I then decided to switch to smoothie. So instead of me um fasting and breaking with water, I then fasted and I would break with smoothies. So I did that for 2 days, and the second day I was starting to feel weak. So I went ahead and I got into like weightlifting, that type of thing. So when I would weight lift and run, I noticed that I still was more energetic. So I could go for 2, 3 days. And then that was just it. I just kept pushing myself each day. And then I finally joined an accountability group, and then we would weigh ourselves So that definitely helped in keeping me accountable. And then I was still able to do my fasting, breaking with smoothies, and the weight kept dropping, right? So I was like, why not, right? I always wanted to lose a bunch of pounds. So if this is working out, so why not like continue it, you know? And so I continued doing the smoothie fast. And before I knew it, it was, of course, April was my birthday. So I kept saying, okay, I wanted to see how much weight I would lose by my birthday. And then I started at, I would say 97 kg. The weight kept dropping. Each week I was losing. The first week, I think I lost almost like 3 kg. The second week, it was like 2 kg. Then by the third week, my body got used to the smoothie. So I was just losing like 1 kg each week, 1 kg each week. And this was with exercise, not intense exercise. I wouldn't say I was working out every day, but maybe every other day I was working out. But the main change was my diet, just smoothies. And then I know in the midst of that, I went for someone's party and I was so tempted. Obviously, being in a party, I just had to eat one chicken. I took a bite of the chicken. I later regretted it, so I just took chicken and then I drank water and yeah. But I said, okay, I didn't want to cheat myself, right? Because we think we're cheating, but literally it's yourself. You're cheating yourself from getting the result that you know you can get. But sometimes there's a part of us that just wants to self sabotage some things. So I ended up continuing this and pushing myself, and before I knew it, I was able to, get to 80 something. Once I got to 80 something, I was like, hold up, I'm actually losing weight. And then that was when it hit me when I got to 89. I was like, wow, I've gotten to 89. It will really be good to see what, 79 looks like. And then I got to 79. And I kept saying to myself, it would be good to see what 69 looks like. I'm still on that journey. But one thing I can tell you is that the main work in weight loss is definitely your diet. Like when people used to say it, I used to say, I don't really know about that, but I can definitely reiterate that and definitely like state that without a shadow of doubt that it's definitely your diet. Like I'm definitely someone that um loves to, work out on a regular, even when I'm not on a diet. I think I just love the idea of running, and I get that runner's high because I've been running before now. So I definitely love to run, right? So I've done that before. So I think I just loved the idea. I love the idea of working out. So I've always been working out, but as far as my diet wasn't like the cleanest thing ever. So I think that was the one thing that changed. I wouldn't say that the exercise that I was doing was different. I would say for the whole of January, from the whole of 2023, I haven't been to a gym, but yet I lost weight. Do you understand? I haven't been to a gym, but yet I lost weight. So I would say without a shadow of doubt that the bulk of the work is actually your diet. If you ask me, the bulk of the work is definitely your diet. So yeah, I just joined in to just come encourage somebody who is currently considering, oh my God, how am I going to lose weight in 2024? What are some of the things that I can do? I'm not saying that you should go on a smoothie diet if it's not for you, because ultimately, when people share their experiences on YouTube, people always assume that you're trying to say this is what they should do. No, I'm not telling you how you should live your life or how to lose weight or stuff like that. I'm only telling you that this is what worked for me. If this is something you want to try, then fine, by all means, please do. But if this is not your forte, then no. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh my God, losing weight was the easiest thing for me. Losing weight is it's one of the hardest things ever to do. I tell you, one of by far the hardest things to do, to keep pushing yourself mentally, especially if you don't have like someone who is pushing you, you don't have an accountability partner. It's pretty hard, but I definitely know that you can push yourself. You really can. Just keep going. Just keep going. And you don't have to like tell so many people, because one thing I know about life is that People, you can be telling someone, "Oh, I'm on a diet, I'm on a diet," and they've not seen any results, but you just keep pushing, putting in the effort, your results will speak for itself. you know I know that usually January is a frenzy, is a weight loss resolution friendly, like frenzy. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I want to lose weight in 2024. I've packed on a couple of pounds," which is understandable because the holiday season, everyone is eating. When you're happy, you're with family, you tend to eat more, you binge more because you're excited. For some people, right? When you're not sad, most people pack on weight. They call it the happy weight now, right? When you're happy, you're with family, you eat. But I also want to say that it's very easy to pack the pounds over the holiday season. And no matter how much you try to binge watch, just always have it at the back of your mind that, you know, don't make decisions that ultimately you're still going to regret. Because that's a big thing. And as I'm saying it to you, I'm also saying it to myself. Because you don't want to like eat stuff just for the moment, and then in 2024 you start to regret it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been that person. Like last year, I was like, you know what, this year, this what did they call, what's it called, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I was like, I'm gonna eat, I deserve it. I've been on a diet the whole time, even though I didn't lose weight in 2022, but I was always mindful of what I was eating. So I felt like Thanksgiving and the holiday was a period for me to reward myself. So I say this to say that after that, I didn't like most of the pictures that I took over the Christmas, over the holidays. I was like, wow, is this really me? Is this how I look? I couldn't see myself in the person in the mirror. I was like, this is me, but this isn't really me, like how I look, how I want to look, or how I envision that I look, right? And so by December, I was already like, I think for crossover service, as a crossover, during the crossover service, like my church that I was attending at the time, they would share pizza, chicken, because I was in the children's department, and they would share it for the kids for crossover service. But I was like, no, everybody else was taking it. I was like, no, nah, I don't really want to eat it. So it just recently dawned on me that as at then, I'd already made up my mind that things were going to change. So it just so happened that during the spiritual fast, I started, building my strength for the journey during the spiritual fast. I know some people will be like, did you use a spiritual fast to lose weight? No, that was not the point. Whether or not I was going to lose weight, I was still going to do a spiritual fast. But that definitely helped me to build momentum to just continue from February, March to April, May, because my some churches just fast for the whole of January, right? And so if I wanted to stop, I could have just stopped after January. But I still continued February, March, through to April. Even after my birthday, I had a whole party, egg cake, everything. Right after my birthday, I went back to work. I went straight back in. I knew that after my birthday, 1 day, 2 days, I had eaten. It was a whole birthday weekend, right? Shenanigans. But I went straight back into it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, ultimately, if you want to go ahead and kickstart, obviously with the spiritual fast, but just make up your mind that excuse me, I want you to make up your mind that 2024 indeed can be your year. 2024 can be that year. So I don't know who this is for, because I kind of struggled to come on live to just come encourage someone, because ultimately that's one of the things that I know that I'm very passionate about. I love to help people, lose weight. So if you're watching this live, or you do a rewatch and something just strikes you and you need help of any sort in terms of losing weight, trying to be confident to get in there, changing your mindset, I'm definitely your go-to. You can definitely reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok. Those are the places where I'm definitely active in the DMs. Obviously, YouTube doesn't have a DM, but you can also leave me a comment on any of my videos if you have any questions that you just need answered as to how you can use a smoothie diet, or you just want to do fruits and veggies, which I think is actually perfect and sustainable. Now, I've lost it as well with the no carbs thing, but I also want you to understand, especially if you're a woman of a particular age, and also a particular status in the sense of maybe you're married with kids. I want you to understand that gaining weight comes with, having children and stuff like that, right? So you don't have to like because one of the things that I was doing was always comparing my pre-baby body to my now body, which is not fair to me, after like three kids. I don't think that's fair. But to also understand that if I did wanted to get there, it was going to take a process, and the process was not going to be linear, right? It was going to have its ups and downs, right? And I would just tell myself, keep making progress. For any time that I refused a meal that I felt was not going to set me in the right track, I tapped myself in the back. I was like, that's good. Like, for instance, that crossover service where I refused pizza and chicken, it made me realize that, okay, girl, you're not just going to refuse this thing just because you're refusing it. This is going to be a long term thing for you. It's time to get your head in the game. I remember just not being able to dress up without like a waist trainer or body what's it called, body shape. I was like, how long am I going to do this? Something has to give, something has to change. Yeah. So I think for me, that was one of the things that definitely sets me up to knowing that, okay, I definitely wanted something to change in my life. And it really did. I learned so much about myself from pushing myself to losing weight. I pushed myself so hard. Sometimes I would work out in the mornings, walk out in the evenings, not anything too intense. Maybe it could be jump rope, but I would always weigh myself like every other day. That's another thing. But I have said almost everything that I'm just sharing with you right now in my videos. You can catch them. But I just want you to know, if, for instance, um you are struggling with losing weight and you feel like, okay, you just need some sort of motivation, I want you to know that you got this. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got this. So as usual, if you have any questions, let me know. If you do have any questions in regards to that, and what are your thoughts as well, in regards to mom bodies. Do you think that mom bodies, it's okay for a mom to get a tummy tuck, which I also recommend. Like, if you do have the finances and you've done your research and you know that it's okay for you, you have someone who is trustworthy that can get it done, fine. I've also seen a couple of people, like, get what's it called, gastric surgery. When I lost it, people were saying, "Oh, I went and got a gastric surgery done." And it was funny because I was like, "Wow, I must have lost so much weight that people think I have done surgery." So I kind of took it as a compliment, even though it was kind of hard to start trying to convince people that, "Oh my God, no, I didn't get a weight loss surgery. I actually lost weight the right way." But I get it. She was like, most people that are friends, they'll just go get their body done, then come back and says they did a diet. But I was like, no, I didn't. But I wasn't at the time ready to start explaining to people. And I was like, why do I even think I need to start explaining to people that, you know, I was on a diet? Because I just felt it was a journey that was personal to me. I wasn't even sure if it was something that God was leading me to do in terms of coming on here and sharing this with you guys. I wasn't sure if it was something I wanted to do, because I knew that some people would tell me, "Oh, this isn't sustainable. Why should I do a smoothie diet?" And I'm like, fine. It might not be for you, it might be for somebody else, but don't let the person don't hinder that person from getting their blessings. That's just me personally, right? So I'm curious to know what yours plans are in terms of um weight loss. How do you plan on losing the weight? What are your plans to lose weight, especially in the new year? I know lots of people are always on one weight loss surgery or the other, one weight loss journey or the other. Some people want to do salads, fruits. Some people are like, no, I'm going to cut out carbs. Carbs is the enemy. I definitely want to do more weightlifting in 2024. I feel like the whole of 2023, I wasn't lifting weights so much. And I definitely want to get toned up. That's definitely something. I want to build more muscle. No, not glutes. I'm not a fan of glutes. I'm like, okay, speaking of glutes, now that we are talking about it, right? Now that we are here, because this is one of the topics that I really wanted to talk about. I was hoping to be able to come here with one or two friends to just kind of talk about it, like, talk about mom bodies, the mom bodies still matter. Talk about the trend of BBO. I personally feel, this is just my unpopular opinion though, that the rate at which people are getting BBLs, this is just side track. I was just like, I feel like it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot. And my also unpopular opinion is that I also think this whole how to build glute muscles thing, all this workout, anytime I see people, I'm sorry, respectfully, this is just my opinion, because in this world now everybody's very highly sensitive, right? um Sometimes I feel like nobody even knows me, so why don't I even say what I have to say, because who's gonna check me, boo boo? Anyways, so I just feel like when I see girls doing the glute muscle workout and all that, I'm like, why are you like trying so hard to build glute muscles? What is making you think that you don't look beautiful as is? Fine, I'm gonna be honest and say, oh fine, when you see a girl with glutes, it looks good, but I'm just saying, will all these things really matter in heaven? And I'm not joking, it's not one of those, I'm serious. I just feel like, what are you dealing with? As in, why do you feel like your butt wiggling or having like a perky or pokey butt is something that is going to make you stand out or be exceptional or something? I really don't know. Maybe I don't know the mindset behind it. I'm struggling with what the mindset is behind it. Why you have to stress yourself to start building like glute muscles? Why is it so important? Why is it a priority to you? We went from being abs, flat belly to now big butt, right? Society at some point, I believe, way back in the 80s, way back in the 70s, up until the 90s, I feel, people were so focused on um boobs, like, growing, the front side, making it bigger, perkier, that type of stuff. So right now, me, I'm like, the society wants people to have a bigger back end, like a bigger derriere, right? So, what makes you think that in the next couple of years it's not going to be another thing? So that's just the concern that I have with BBL. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, I've had some conversation with some of my brothers, and they tell me, look, guys even pay for these things because guys actually want these things, right? They don't want to they want their significant other to actually have it. So they have friends who actually pay and encourage their girls to go get this. So I was like, wow, that is interesting. I never really like thought about it, that oh, guys were paying for that. But when I realized that that was something that was happening, I was like, okay. I felt like maybe me, I was judging people so harshly. I was like, fine, if your significant other is going to pay for it, then that's great. But I ultimately think that the major reason why you'd be doing such a thing would be, um definitely, the deeper concern is self-esteem issues. That's just what I've been beating around the bush trying to avoid saying. But the bigger concern then is definitely self-esteem issues, because I personally don't think that it's something to invest your time in. I just feel like there are so many other people that are doing better things with their lives. That's just what I feel. I feel there are so many people doing better things with their lives. And I feel like there's so much more to be done. And I also understand as well, respectfully, how these things affect your self-esteem. I'm not gonna lie that these things don't affect people's self-esteem. They really do affect people's self-esteem. Okay. So let's not lie and say, oh my God, like, why do all be judging? I've seen someone who, after getting that job done, like, her career skyrocketed, right? I used to watch her on Instagram, and I was like, I watched the whole thing as to how her life just skyrocketed from just doing a BBL. So I definitely can relate and understand that some people have to do this because they're in showbiz, and especially when you put yourself out there, it also makes you more conscious of your body. You might watch videos of yourself and be like, oh my god, why do I look like that? Something has to change. You definitely want to change a part of you, you know. But I also want to say that I think the deeper concern should be you trying to develop yourself and your goals, and ultimately think about making more of an impact in the society, which is something that nobody likes to hear. I know that all this stuff, looking fine, looking good, looking snatched, looking curved, and all that, is good. It's transcends into your confidence, but I think the inner work still needs to be done, right? So this whole trend, I think that's just my basic take that I always wanted to put out there. An unpopular opinion, yeah, that, and correct me if I'm wrong, just correct me in love, because I definitely think that sometimes you can just be in your own house and just be thinking a certain and just have a certain opinion, but then you still stand corrected because some people might come and look at it from a different perspective. Like I know someone who went and got some gastric surgery, lipo, and they were like, oh, okay, so the fat in your belly, do you still want it like to put it back like a BBL? Because literally that's what a BBL is, right? Just doing like lipo, but transferring the fat to somewhere else that you feel like needs fat. That's just it. But as usual, people always do the excess and make it look awkward. So the doctor will of course ask you how much fat do you want, transferred. So I still think ultimately it's okay, fine, if that's what you want to do. But if you're doing it because you want to gain the opposite attention, or you're feeling like this is what the girls are doing now, that's how the girls are making money, I don't think it's the right thing. In case you didn't know, I personally don't think it's the right thing to do. I don't think that everybody should be going about getting a BBL. But then again, who am I to tell you how to live your life or what to do with your body? But the only thing I'm saying this is you are doing this now because it's a trend. Have you done your research about, you know, the side effects? Is it something that you're going to want to live the rest of your life with? Because some of us, I think, I'm always that person that some of us actually just see ourselves in the now. We don't see ourselves in the future. We don't think of our future at all, right? So I've always been that person that has always done lots of introspection. I've always thought about, how I would look when I'm a grandma, even at such a young age. I've been an overthinker, and I've always been like that person that is always like optimistic, thinking about the future and stuff like that. So I'm like, if I did get a BBL, is this something? Because I know lots of ladies who back in the 80s and 90s had to do a reverse of the augmentation that they did in the front, right? And some I remember there was a season where they were saying people's silicone were, getting busted in them and even leading towards death. So I know that might not be the case with BBL. I'm hoping that medicine has advanced, but I also want you to know that 30 years from now, medicine is still going to advance, and there will be some flaws because I'm also a scientist, and I can tell you that there's always flaws in almost every other procedure that is done. Flaws that they might not see now, but in the future they will see these flaws. So I'm just saying to just be careful, to just do adequate research, because you have just this one body. And I think that if you're doing this to attract who you think is going to be your significant other, who God has destined for you to, be your husband, I think that the right man, that will not be the features that the person will be looking at. I think that the right person will ultimately be thinking about, what how you would raise kids, just like you for your personality. I'll say your personality. I wanted to say what you bring to the table, but I was like, no, I know women don't want to hear what do you bring to the table. But I'm going to say that the right person is going to like you for who you are, not necessarily your physical features. I mean physical features, and definitely that in the sense that the person is definitely going to like you, how you look. Like you have to marry someone that likes your face, right? Regardless, like likes looking at you, isn't bored of you, or even if they do get bored, maybe after 50 years of troubling the person. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying all of this to say that If the person is attracted to you because you got a BBL done or got a surgery, then that is the wrong person for you. And that if at all that you're getting a BBL, make sure that you're getting the BBL for the right reasons. That's just what I'm saying. And I'm not judging or saying that there's anything wrong with any of the procedures, but I'm just saying that the whole idea of, BBL, the craze about it, the people who were the ultimate influencers or who started this whole thing, some of them have gone ahead to go reverse their surgery. So I'm just letting you know that some of these things, though they feel exciting right now, and a couple of years now, they may be decisions that you ultimately regret. But then again, most people will not come out and tell you that they regret some of these decisions. That's just the honest truth if I'm keeping it real. Most people don't come to tell you, oh my God, I regret this decision. They're just gonna let you make those mistakes yourself. That's just the honest truth, and that's the way the world works. People can do something wrong and they know it's wrong, right? And they see you wanting to make those wrong decisions. They're not gonna tell you because misery loves company, yeah. They're not gonna tell you, oh no, no, don't go get it. They want you to experience or feel the pain that they're currently feeling, which is wrong, but that's just the average human. That's like the way the average mind thinks. So I just want you to bear that in mind as well. That some people are dealing with the repercussions or the consequences of procedures that they've done and all, but they can't. I know some people that will also tell you that they regret it just because when people even approach them or guys approach them, people of, you know, like males approach them, they're skeptical. They're like, is this person liking me for me or liking me because of the procedure that I've had done? So you could imagine living your life, all your life, when someone approaches you and like, hey, beautiful, you're thinking, okay, is he really beautiful or does he like what he see? So if that wasn't there, so you can imagine living your life every day with that mindset. And they feel like there are also certain places that they go to and that people don't take them seriously. Maybe, for instance, they are in a career in a professional setting and they go for an interview because there are certain procedures that you've done. No matter how you dress up, it's still going to show. And everybody, I mean, the average person already has an idea of what the BBL's looks like. You know what I'm saying? So when you go there, the people might not take you seriously. You even get, your some people have told me that someone in the interview like flirted with her because they already assume that she's just you know a woman of what's it called, they just think that she's someone who doesn't have values or that kind of thing. And she always has to be like upfront and defensive, like, what did you say? Why would you say that to me? So that's like another battle that you have to pick. But nobody's gonna tell you that, because just like everything else, everything comes with its ups and its downs, right? I remember I'll share this. When I lost weight, I kept dealing with, I felt like I was getting disrespected from people a lot because I was looking significantly small, almost like my daughter. So we would go to events and I felt like people were talking down on me. And I was like, what? Is it because I lost weight? Do I look that small? I'll come home furious, fuming that, oh my God, why this person disrespect me? Is it because of my size? Is it because of my this? Yada, yada, yada. So I'm saying all of this to just say that be careful of the decisions. Don't make permanent decisions off of temporary, emotions or what you're dealing with now. Like before I would ever make that kind of decision, I would want to go to like a neutral place and just be like in a neutral situation and say, okay, would this really make me happy? Like ask yourself certain questions before you do it. And to me, I think that real mom bodies really matter. And I'm not saying that to those who have gone and done, a mommy makeover, which is something that if when I eventually get someone, there's so many things that I want to get done. There's so many things that I want to get done, but I'm holding myself and also knowing that, okay, hold up. Are you just doing this because you're seeing all your friends doing it, or is this something you really want to do? But I really want to get something done. But I knew that it didn't have to do with weight loss. It was just that I want my diastasis recti to get fixed, right? So diastasis recti is like when the muscles in your abdomen has like is misplaced basically. Instead of you having abs, like your abs are just scattered like broken, so you have like loose skin, there's no muscle there, so it's literally just like loose, so it's lost its elasticity in the skin. So, and that usually happens after obviously multiple pregnancies, and I've had three. So I always say to myself that I definitely want this fixed. And if I feel like I want to get anything else, then fine. So that I will just know that I'm doing like a whole recovery. Now, let's even talk about the recovery, because the recovery process is another process on its own entirely that people don't like to talk about. People don't like to talk about that, and that is something that we definitely have to dissect. I definitely think that I'm more scared about the recovery than the procedure itself. Like the money, great, you get the money, the doctors are ready to do whatever you want to do. But I think for me, the biggest thing is the recovery process. Oh my God. The recovery is when I watch videos of people that have gotten one procedure or the other done, and I'm like, oh my God, is this something I really, really want to do? Do I really want to go there? Yeah, so the recovery is definitely something that I'm definitely worried and scared of. So, yeah, that's something to think about. And I would say for me, I think my biggest advice would be for you to first try to see what you can do, you know, naturally by yourself. And then if it's something you still now want to go ahead and get done, then definitely get it done. But just be wary of the consequences. I know that like everything else, um, everything has there's always a consequence to every action. That's literally how I feel. There's always a consequence to every action, be it good or bad. So, but I want to believe that science has definitely gone farther than everything that anyone is being scared about. So if your biggest scare or worry is about certain things in the future going wrong, I'm sure that medicine is very well advanced in research that they would have told you in whatever before signing any consent for the procedure, some of the side effects or the possible things that you might have to deal with in terms of side effects. But I'm sure that if you're getting a mommy makeover, you are definitely trying to capture your life back. And I love that. Anytime I see any of my girls getting a makeup, I'm like, yes, girl. I'm always in like, I'm the number one person to shout you out. The only thing that I wouldn't always say is I'm not necessarily a fan of the BBLs, especially because they don't look natural. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something that isn't. There are some people on that I'll be like, okay, girl, okay, okay. If I was a guy, I'll definitely, I love it for you. I love it for you. But there are some that I'm not moved by. And then ultimately, I love the girlies who build their glutes and that type of thing. Which I mean, it's great, but it's just the motive behind it. If you're doing it for yourself, like okay, I want to see myself look better in clothes. I love when I have a little booty, in clothes or fitting in clothes. Then great, that's great. That's a great motive, right? But if the motive is so you can look more attractive to the opposite sex, then I don't think that's a good enough motive for me personally. I don't think that's the motivation for me to want to dedicate my whole almost majority of my percentage at the gym to focusing on. But for me, if you want to do it, I love it for you if your motive is for yourself, because I think that's what most people don't know, that um most girlies actually want to look good for themselves, not for anyone. And I think that's anytime I see people say, why do we like want to do certain things, we as females, but I realize that we actually want to do most of these things for ourselves. It's actually for ourselves, not for anybody else. So with that being said, that's the end of my rant, and I'll be coming in from time to time to just talk about my unpopular opinions. And thank you so much to everyone who joined, who's going to rewatch this. I most definitely appreciate you. Bye for now.